Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dak, and if you enjoy talking about movies in any way, shape or form, you're going to feel right at home here. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my next Blu-ray haul for the month of June. This is just the videos I do every single month where I like to sit back and relax with you guys and just go through everything that I bought in the month of, well, in this case, June. But just a couple of things to address before we dive into the haul, because it's quite a big one this month in comparison to the last month. First of all, I'd like to address my sort of 2-week or so hiatus that I've had from YouTube. It's just been a pretty hectic time for me. I've been going back to work, after being furloughed for a bit, so that's taken up quite a bit of time, and with that means I'm finishing at 5 PM, which means by the time I get home, it's been difficult to find time to record things and to come up with video ideas and stuff like that, especially in a time like this when there's still no new movies coming out and so on and so forth. So I apologize for being gone for a little while, but hopefully from here on out we'll have videos returning as per usual. And also for this haul, there's a lot more this month than usual, especially in comparison to last month, because June was actually my birthday month, so I actually got quite a lot of gifts for my birthday, so quite a lot of these are gifts. So with all that out of the way and all that said, let's dive into it. Of course, there'll be sort of no editing, no cuts or anything like that in this. Let's just dive straight in. So first of all, we have this first little gift here from my good friend Daniel Finn, who is my co-host on a Live podcast, and you also would have seen him on this channel if you watched my spoiler talk for Defending Jacob. But he bought me this Green Arrow action figure from McFarlane Toys. Now, McFarlane Toys is quite a well-renowned company within the toy making industry. Particularly, I remember the Halo Reach line back in the day. That was really good. But here we have the Green Arrow from, of course, Arrow. And you guys will know Arrow is my favorite TV series of all time. I have a true place in my heart for Arrow. So to have an action figure for Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow himself, is really, really awesome. And this is a really nice figure. It's got really nice detail. I'm trying to get the flare. It's probably the best angle to hold it at. But a really nice figure, as you can see. It's got all the accessories there. You've got the bow, the quiver with the arrows, and this is also the Season 5 suit, which is, well, the Season sort of 5 to 7 suit, which is, in my opinion, the best suit that Oliver wore in the show. So a really nice figure. I haven't unboxed it yet because I haven't found a place to put it, but once I do, I'll be taking it out of the box and putting it on display because it's a really, really nice figure. And also, as you can see, a new addition to the set. There's a picture of me and Stephen Amell right there. That was a present from my sister for my birthday, which I'm sure some of you have probably seen that image before if you follow me on Twitter, etc. But yeah, so yeah, there's me and Stephen in the back there just to show even more how much I love Arrow. Now, moving over to the Funko Pops, because we've got a big variety as well. We got figures, we got pops, we got games, we got DVDs, and we got Blu-rays, and we got Steelbooks, so quite a lot this month. But moving over to the Funko Pops, we have Takeshi Kovacs from Altered Carbon. Now, this is the Elias Riker, Joel Kinnaman version. Now, if you saw my review for Altered Carbon Season 2, you'll know I love the show. So when they said they were making Pops, I was very, very excited. And if I kind of want to get all of them, like you can see all of them on the back there, I kind of want to get all of them in this line because it's a really awesome line. Again, I love the show. But if I had to get one, it was always going to be Elias Riker. This was a gift from my best friend for my birthday. And I just love this pop. It's so nice. The detail on it, it's got the pink backpack, it's got the bloody ear on the side there. It's just a really awesome looking pop. It's really nice, and it's great to have some Altered Carbon pops, because again, it's not like a, from what I can tell, it's not a huge show. I think Season 2 did do better than Season 1, which is a good thing. But it's not a huge show, so to get a small line of pops for it, I think is really, really nice. It might have been nice if we maybe got a Poe pop as well to go along with it, but still, a really awesome pop. I'm happy to get this, especially because I love the show. I love Takeshi as a character, and particularly the Elias Riker, Joel Kinnaman interpretation of the character was definitely my favorite so far, so I'm really happy to own this. And the next and final Funko Pop for the haul we have here is The Child, from, of course, The Mandalorian. This is just the most adorable thing that might exist in the whole world. I mean, I watched The Mandalorian obviously very recently when it came to Disney Plus, finally, here in the UK, and watching The Mandalorian, it just confirmed to me that yes, the child, Baby Yoda, whatever you want to call him, is the most adorable thing, maybe in the history of Star Wars, definitely the most adorable thing since Porgs, and I just needed this pop for my collection. I think every pop fan needs this for their collection, especially if you're a Star Wars fan, because it's just the most beautiful, adorable little thing, and it's just stunning. I do have the pop for The Mandalorian as well, so I want to put them together, but just an adorable, just look at him, he's the most adorable thing ever, so happy to finally own that as well. Now, moving over to the games, I got a couple of video games this month. First of all, and this was a big one for me, we have The Last of Us Part 2. I just finished this a couple of days ago as of recording this, and just wow. I think this game is absolutely incredible. Maybe it's not my favorite game from Naughty Dog. Like, Naughty Dog is my personal favorite developer because they developed not only The Last of Us 1 and 2, but also the Uncharted series. But this game might be one of their best. It's just amazing what they did with this game. The story of it is incredible. What they did with the characters in this game really surprised me, and also it delivered a lot of really shocking moments. It delivered a lot of emotions that I've never really received when playing video games before, especially one particular emotion that I've never really experienced before playing a game. Graphically, it's incredible. The gameplay is fantastic. It's just a really brilliant game. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I do want to do a full review for this, but an amazing game. And this is also a really nice Steelbook that I got for the game as well from Amazon. So you can see you got Ellie there and Joel on the back. It's just a really, really nice Steelbook on the whole. And there's the spine as well. I just loved this game. Absolutely loved it. And I've been really missing it these last couple of days, you know, not playing it because it truly is amazing. And I mean, this is kind of like one of the final big exclusives for the PlayStation 4, and what a way to go out. Like, wow. Like, what a way to end it. We still got Ghost of Tsushima coming out, but, like, for The Last of Us Part 2 being one of the last, that's a hell of a epilogue. And then the other game I got, which I got this for my birthday as well, Resident Evil 3. I am so excited to play this. I'm going from one post-apocalypse into another. But Resident Evil 2 I played over lockdown, like very recently when I was furloughed from work. I played Resident Evil 2, and that game really surprised me because I thought I was going to enjoy it, but I didn't expect to love it, and I absolutely loved it. I had such a great time with it. I enjoyed it. I played it, you know, I played through Leon's story and then Claire's story very closely together, and I pretty much played Claire's story in one sitting. So once I finished Resident Evil 2, I was like, well, I have to get 3, and I was going to wait for the price to go down, but I did actually get this for my birthday, so that's awesome. But I'm so excited to play this. Again, I just really enjoyed Resident Evil 2, so I'm very excited to see where it goes next, and I'm kind of invested in this series now. I kind of want to go through and play all the others. I'll play 4, 5, 6, 7, and of course we've got Resident Evil 8, which will probably come out on PS5, so I'm very, very excited for it. But this game just looks really fun. It looks like a really interesting addition to the series, and even though I've heard this game's very, very short, that's not an issue for me. Like, I don't care if a game's short, as long as it's awesome and gives me a good experience, then that's all I really care about. So I'm really excited to check that out, and I can't wait to dive in, because I'm very much invested in this series by this point. Now, for the one DVD I got, I picked up the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. Now, this is for the Arrowverse. As I mentioned before, Arrow, of course, is my favorite show. I love the Arrowverse. And I always pick up these standalone crossovers on DVD, even though they usually get released on the Blu-rays for the individual seasons. I like to pick these up anyway, just so you can have them all on one disc, and, you know, you can just have them in one place. And I actually rewatched this very, very recently, pretty much the day after my birthday, and yeah, I think Crisis, I do think it's underwhelming, and I do think it does have a lot of flaws, especially because I feel like this crossover was mainly written around fan service, and kind of felt like it had these big cameos and these big moments that they really wanted to put in the crossover, and they kind of wrote the story around that, which I didn't really feel like was the best way to go about it. But it's still a really fun crossover. It's got a lot of great moments, a lot of great character moments, and even though I hate this crossover in a way for what it did to Oliver Queen and how they pretty much revolved the entire final season of Arrow around it, I still think on its own as a standalone crossover it's awesome. If you want to see my full thoughts, some of you will know I do have a DC channel, like a DC Arrowverse channel, where I've had many videos about Crisis, including big spoiler talks and stuff like that. So if you want to see my full, true, in-depth thoughts of Crisis, you can check that out, but I'll leave a link in the description. But it's a fun crossover. It is fun. It's slightly underwhelming, but fun. And now moving into the Blu-rays, we have American Honey. Now, I picked this up with some birthday money, and this is a film that I really don't have much to say about because I haven't actually seen this, but this is a film that I've always wanted to see. It's a film that looks really interesting to me. I like the cast a lot. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Shia LaBeouf, so I'm really excited to see him in a role like this. And I've just seen a few clips from this movie that really stood out to me, and when I was in the store spending some money of mine, I just found this for £7, and I thought, yeah, I'll pick that up. So I don't really have much to say about it, but it's a movie I'm excited to check out. I've also not seen this movie, and sticking with Shia LaBeouf, Honey Boy. And I'd also like to thank my good friend Ewan Moorfield, who also has a channel here on YouTube. I'll link him in the description down below. He's a great guy and makes awesome videos. If it wasn't for his Instagram post, I wouldn't actually know this existed. So thank you very much, Ewan, for posting that on Instagram, because I wouldn't know about it otherwise. Because this was an HMV exclusive Blu-ray, and I didn't even know this got a Blu-ray in HMVs here in the UK. So I was very excited about that. But this is a movie I wanted to see for a long time. I believe it debuted at Sundance in 2019. And when I first heard about the movie, the Shia LaBeouf was kind of doing this autobiographical film about his life. I thought, okay, I want to check that out. I love Shia LaBeouf. As you guys know, I love the Transformers movies. They are what I grew up with. And Shia LaBeouf was kind of an actor that I grew up with in a way. Like, he was an actor that I really loved as a kid. And even as an adult, like, even though I haven't watched as much of his stuff recently, from what I have seen, he's just really been doing some interesting work. And this looks to be like that. He's playing his own father in this, or at least an interpretation of his father. And then Noah Jupe and Lucas Hedges are playing like an interpretation of Shia LaBeouf. So this seems to be a really interesting film. I'm very excited to check it out. It looks like a really great, look into what would be Shia LaBeouf's life as a child actor. I just think it seems really interesting, and the fact that this actually got a Blu-ray here in the UK was really awesome. I probably should have rented it, but still, I saw the Blu-ray and I got excited. I saw the fact that this even existed and I got very, very excited, but I'm very excited to check it out. If you guys have seen Honey Boy, let me know in the comments. I may even review this if there's not really much else to review at the time, which there probably won't be, so keep an eye out for a review on that one. Like I say, I'm not promising that one, but it might happen. Now the next movie here we have Greed. Now this is still in the plastic. Greed is one of my favourite movies of the year, actually, so far. I really love this. This is directed by Michael Winterbottom, who is a pretty profound and pretty well-regarded British director at this point. And also stars Steve Coogan, of course, and this movie revolves around Steve Coogan's character, who's kind of this sort of mogul in the fashion industry, and he's trying to rebuild his image by throwing this fantastic and spectacular 60th birthday party. And this has a lot of great cameos in it, a lot of great celebrity moments, and the main reason I was excited about this and the main reason I wanted to watch it was because this movie, one of the main lead characters is played by David Mitchell, who is from Peep Show. Peep Show is my favourite British comedy of all time, my favourite comedy of all time, and probably my second favourite TV show of all time. I adore Peep Show, and I adore David Mitchell. And he's great in this. He very much plays David Mitchell in it. He very much plays himself, but he's very good in it. And I just found this movie really funny. I think it's really entertaining. I think it's got a great story, and the way the movie actually ends really shocked me. I didn't expect the story to go in the way that it did. It's kind of almost like a disaster the way this movie goes, and I found that really surprising and really interesting. I think the movie has some interesting commentary. I think the movie has some deeper themes within it that I don't think the trailer really highlights, but the movie is really funny and, again, really genuinely quite surprising. I do feel like the tones of the movie does clash at times in regards to what it's trying to go for and what it's trying to do, and I can understand why a lot of people didn't really like the movie that much, but for me personally, I really enjoyed it, and like I said, it's one of my favorites of the year, so I'm very happy to own that. Now, this next movie was also a gift, and this one literally just showed up after my birthday out of nowhere. We have Bong Joon-ho's Snowpiercer. Now, this is actually the Dutch release of the film. This is the Dutch Blu-ray, which is, as you can see, it's like a very thin Blu-ray, which in the UK, like if you're from the US watching this, obviously these are the kind of style of Blu-rays you get normally, but here in the UK, we get these like thicker style Blu-rays. So this is like a thin one, which is nice and different. Now, Snowpiercer was a film I watched over lockdown as well, and I really like Snowpiercer a lot. I thought it was fantastic, and I was going to pick this up on Blu-ray anyway, because this has actually just been released here in the UK. So if you're watching this and you want to pick up Snowpiercer for yourself here in the UK, you can actually just pick that up now. But Snowpiercer, it's a fantastic film, you know, post-apocalyptic, got a great cast, Chris Evans, Octavia Spencer, Ewan Bremer, Jamie Bell. It's got a great cast, and it's just a really interesting film. It's a very interesting looking film. It's very dark, it's very grim, and it just tells this really interesting story. And of course, this is directed by Bong Joon-ho, who has just won Best Director at the Oscars last year for Parasite. This is my second Bong Joon-ho film that I've ever seen, and currently this and Parasite are the only ones I've seen so far, but a really great film. I really enjoyed it, and I'm very happy to own it in this collection, especially because this is a really nice, unique looking Blu-ray for here in the UK. It's even got some inside artwork there, which is really, really nice. So I'm very excited to own this and very happy to have it in the collection, because it's a great film. Next up here we have The Lighthouse. Now, this is also one of my favorites of the year. Now, The Lighthouse is tremendous. This film is directed by Robert Eggers, who directed The Witch, which is also another fantastic horror film. And this film I thought was even better than The Witch. I liked this movie even more than The Witch. I think that this film, you know, it's shot in that specific aspect ratio that makes it feel really enclosed and really claustrophobic, which really adds to the horror element of the film. It's all shot in black and white as well, which is incredibly stylistic. Robert Pattinson and also Willem Dafoe were both incredibly robbed for Oscars for their acting in this film. Truly two of the best performances I've seen in a while, particularly in the last couple of years. Amazing, amazing work they do here. And the film's just dark and weird and just very subversive and very, very enjoyable because of that. The movie just keeps you on the edge of your seat because you want to see what's going on with it. You want to see just the descent of madness that the characters go down. It's just a very engaging, very interesting and very fun horror movie too. So I really enjoyed this film, and I'm very happy to own it on Blu-ray. I can't wait to check this out again, because this is also, again, one of my favorites of the year, so I'm excited to check that out. Now, this next film, I also watched this throughout lockdown, and as soon as I watched it, I was like, I need to own this movie. And that's While We're Young. Now, I watched this film because I saw it on Amazon Prime, and it had both Adam Driver and Ben Stiller, two of my favorite actors of all time. Adam Driver is my favorite actor of all time, and Ben Stiller is up there. And then only when I started watching the movie and I went on Amazon Prime to watch it, I actually saw the movie was directed by Noah Baumbach, and I didn't actually know that until I actually went to watch the film. But I loved this movie. I loved it so much, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since I watched it. It's been on my brain. I just think the movie's really chill and really nice, and has a really great message about age and how different age groups interpret different things like success and happiness. And I think the movie has this really great heart in the middle of it, this really great theme in the middle of it, and great performances. Ben Stiller's fantastic, Adam Driver's fantastic, Naomi Watts is great, Amanda Seyfried is awesome. And Noah Baumbach's direction, like his type of film, you know, this is very much in line with stuff that I've watched recently, like Marriage Story and the Meyerowitz stories, where it's very much based on character drama, and this character drama is really real, and he does this really good job of writing characters that feel very much like the real world and feel very much like they're from the real world. And that's really, it's a difficult balance to strike, I think, and I think Noah Baumbach does it really, really well. And this movie was just fantastic, and I love this Blu-ray. I got this from eBay, and we got this really nice slipcover, and it's completely undamaged, which was really nice to see, so I'm very happy to own this in the collection again. I love this movie, and if you're from the UK, it's on Amazon Prime, so go check it out if you haven't, because I highly recommend it. It's really good. And now we move into the 4Ks. Here we have Disney Pixar's Onward. Now, Onward was actually also my favourites of the year, and this really surprised me. This movie genuinely shocked me, because going into it, I was kind of like, okay, I think this is going to be a bit of a lower tier Pixar movie, not exactly amazing or anything like that. Because the trailers never really did it for me, and the concept didn't really do it for me. I just thought it looked a bit weird and a bit different from what Pixar's done before, and I thought it was a bit of a risk. And while it was, I think the movie actually pays off. I think the movie's really good, actually. Chris Pratt and Tom Holland do a really good job in the lead roles. I enjoyed their characters, and I really enjoyed the world of this film. It's just really interesting the way that it's kind of reflective of the human world, where even though they're from a very magical dimension, the magic's kind of ebbed away throughout the years because of technology, and I think that was really interesting. And the way the film kind of goes with this story about them trying to bring their dad back to life, and the way the movie ends with that, I thought was quite ballsy, actually, and the way the movie actually treats the characters by the end, I thought was really interesting and different. So Onward was genuinely surprising. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really happy to own it. I'm excited to check out this 4K, because we've only just started getting Disney 4Ks here in the UK in the last year or so, and based on Toy Story 4, which looks incredible on 4K, I'm excited to see what this is going to look like as well. So really enjoyed Onward, and again, quite a surprising Pixar movie for me. And here, next on 4K, we have Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. This is, of course, the latest film in the DCEU, and this film I was very mixed on initially. I thought the film was marketed kind of weirdly, and I thought the trailers weren't particularly great, but I was still excited about the movie nonetheless. And coming out of the film, I absolutely loved it. I thought the movie was great. I thought, like, Margot Robbie, of course, is just killing it as Harley Quinn. Every single time we see her, she's fantastic. And this is really the best we've seen her, especially because they give a lot more depth and dimension to Harley Quinn as a character in this film. They make her a bit less one note than she was in Suicide Squad. And the supporting cast are great in this film, particularly Journey Smollett-Bell as Black Canary is a real standout for me, and her singing in the movie is just incredible. Ewan McGregor as Black Mask is a brilliant villain who you can tell is just having so much fun in the role. And also Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who plays the Huntress, truly, truly hilarious in the film, like genuinely shocking. She's not in the movie as much as I thought she was going to be, but when she is there, she delivers some of the film's biggest laughs. And the action's great. Obviously, Chad Stahelski came in to do some reshoots and did some really awesome work with the action choreography. The film really has like a sense of style to it that the other DC films don't necessarily have. I feel like Kathy Ann's vision and also Margot Robbie's vision is very much on display here. It's very colourful, it's a very bright movie, and it's just a very fun movie as well. And it definitely is self-aware as well, which I really enjoy. So I think Birds of Prey is kind of underrated, and I think the film really, it really delivered on what it was promising, and I really enjoyed what it actually delivered. So that was a good movie, and I'm excited to check it out again. And here we have the final 4K, we have Sonic the Hedgehog. Now this movie I absolutely adored. When I heard they were making a Sonic movie, I was a bit unsure about it. I thought, how's this going to be? Video game movies suck, so what's this going to be like? But this movie genuinely surprised me. I loved it. I thought the movie was so charming and so endearing and enjoyable. And Ben Schwartz was great casting as Sonic. I thought he did a really good job in doing the voice work. Jim Carrey as Robotnik, while maybe not necessarily accurate, entertaining, absolutely. He was just going full-on Jim Carrey, balls to the wall in the film, which was really fun and entertaining to watch. I honestly recommend watching the movie just for his performance. And James Marsden was really great in the film as well. I think the movie has a nice story to it. While it doesn't particularly lean on Sonic lore, it does deliver a really fan-servicey experience nonetheless, especially with a lot of the references that the movie has. The opening's very reminiscent. And also the post-credit scene where we get to see Tails really excited me. So if we ever do get a sequel, I am full on board for this. But a really interesting film. I really enjoyed, and again, I didn't expect it to be actually as good as it was. I'm not saying it's amazing or anything like that, but I think it's a great film for both kids and adults. And I think, especially if you're a Sonic fan like me, I grew up with Sonic. I adored Sonic as a kid. I think this movie has a lot for people who are fans of the source material. So a really awesome kids movie, and also a really good movie in general. I was genuinely surprised by it, and I'm so happy to own this. This is my second favorite movie of the year, so that just sort of tells you how much I loved it. Now moving over to the Steelbooks, this is sort of the last little thing we have here to talk about today. First up, we have Rush. Now, this film came out in 2013, I think. This is, of course, directed by Ron Howard, stars Chris Hemsworth and Daniel Bruhl. Now, I watched this back in, I think, October of last year. And I watched it because I wanted to watch it anyway. I've always wanted to watch it, but also me and my best friend, we were going to see Hans Zimmer in London for his concert, and one of the films that he was going to be playing the music from was Rush, so we wanted to check it out. And yeah, I'll talk about that first. The score for this is incredible. Hans Zimmer did an amazing job with this. It's truly a standout score, and when I did go to see the concert, the Rush score was one of the standouts for me. But also for the movie itself, it's just really exciting, genuinely exhilarating, quite intense at times. The performances from Chris Hemsworth, and particularly Daniel Bruhl, like he's amazing as Niki Lauda in the film, genuinely a great performance. The direction from Ron Howard's really good. I think for a racing movie, this film really delivered, and it's genuinely intense, it's genuinely exciting, gets your heart racing, and I was very happy to own it. I waited a while to get this Steelbook, because it's actually a pretty easy Steelbook to get your hands on, but it's a really nice one, a really unique one, because it's very basic, but really, really nice at the same time. So I really enjoyed this movie. I'm very happy to own it and to finally get my hands on the Steelbook. Now let's move over to the next ones. Now these next two go together. Now you would have seen back in, I think, the March haul that I got the Steelbook for Cars. And I finally completed my collection with Cars 2 here. Now, Cars 2 is a movie I still absolutely adore. As you guys know, Cars was like the movie of my childhood, so even though it's not exactly the most popular Pixar franchise, I still adore it. And it took me ages to get my hands on the Steelbook, but thank you to the person who helped me out to get this, because I had to go through this whole debacle of getting a refund on the one that I bought and then having to get another one. But I finally own it, and it's really, really nice. There's the front, there's the back. I just really love the designs of these Cars Steelbooks. I think they're beautiful. And yeah, I really like this. I like how the front actually focuses on the racing side of the film rather than like the spy side of the movie. And I think, all these colorful characters and stuff. It's a beautiful Steelbook, so there is Cars 2. And to go along with that, we have the final movie in the trilogy, Cars 3, and the Steelbook is also stunning. There's the front, there's the back. Just a really beautiful Steelbook as well. This I think it's not quite as good as the first one, but it's still really, really good. In regards to my opinion on the Cars movies, some of you will know them, but Cars 1, obviously I adore, I will always adore that movie. Cars 2 is obviously not very good, but I do enjoy it for what it is, and again, as a sequel to Cars, I kind of love it. And Cars 3, I actually think is very underrated as a Pixar film. I actually think it's genuinely quite good, and while I don't know if it's as good as the first one, it's pretty damn close. I genuinely think the movie gets quite a lot of unnecessary hate. I think Cars 3 is genuinely quite good. So I love the Cars trilogy, and I love these Steelbooks, and to put them all together as a trilogy, really nice. And we have two more Steelbooks to go here, and then we're done. Firstly, we have Doctor Who Series 12. Now, I've been waiting to get my hands on this for a while. I'm not really a Doctor Who fan, but I really jumped on board with Doctor Who Series 11. I started watching that, which was the beginning of Jodie Whittaker's tenure as the Doctor. And I loved Series 11, which is kind of funny because most Doctor Who fans hated Series 11, but I really enjoyed it just as a non-Doctor Who fan. So I'm excited to check out Series 12. I actually started watching the first 2 episodes of this last night, and I am very much invested already. And this Steelbook is beautiful. I've loved this. Of course, we have the Doctor, and we have Sacha Darwin, who I've met in real life. He's an awesome guy who's playing the Master in the season. And then on the back, you have, of course, Graham and Yaz and Ryan. It's just a really nice steelbook for me. Like, I really enjoyed this, and I own the Series 11 steelbook as well, so I wanted to get this one to go along with it. So, and together they look beautiful. So, I was genuinely impressed with this, and I'm very, very happy to finally own this. This was a great little surprise to get, because I was very much anticipating getting this, and I've watched this, you know, like I said, I've watched the first 2 episodes, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So it seems to be continuing what I liked from Series 11, which, I mean, if you don't like that, then fair enough, but for me, I personally really enjoyed it. And finally, we have the final thing for this haul. As I said, this haul is super long, but here we have Bong Joon-ho's Parasite. Now, this steelbook I have been waiting for a long time. They put the pre-order up for this months in advance for some reason, and I have just been waiting for this, but it finally arrived, and it's great. Like, this steelbook is beautiful. Like, just the art of it alone, the way you have the Parks on the top, and the other family on the bottom, who I can't remember the surname of, but they are on the bottom. And then if you look at the back of the steelbook, it's actually reversed. So a really nice steelbook with the Parasite logo continuing to be consistent. And then you have on the side the Parasite logo with the Curzon logo as well, because this is actually a Curzon release. And this steelbook is from Zavvi, and it's just stunning. Like, I'm so happy to own Parasite. This is also one of my favorites of the year. I think it's number 3. Really enjoyable film, really entertaining, genuinely shocking, intense, fun, great cast, amazing performances, and Bong Joon-ho, you know, winning Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Picture for this film. Totally deserved. I really enjoyed this, and again, this is one of the best steelbooks I own. It's beautiful, and it looks great in the collection. So there you have it, guys. There is my haul for June. What did you guys get in June? Make sure to let me know your thoughts, and also if you have any comments about what I bought this month, make sure you let me know and let's discuss it in the comments down below. And as always, guys, if you want to see more movie reviews and movie related videos just like this one, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads from me, and I hope to see you guys again next time.